When we think of sleep, the immediate assumption is one of stillness, a temporary cessation of activity. We picture a body at rest and mind dormant. But what if that assumption fundamentally misunderstands the process? What if sleep was not merely an absence of wakefulness, but rather an incredibly complex active state, a biological necessity as vital and demanding as our waking hours? For millennia, human existence has been defined by cycles, the arc of the sun, the changing seasons, the rhythm of breath. Yet within this seemingly constant cycle is another profound pattern: the deep need to shut down, to enter specific predictable periods of unconsciousness. To understand why we needed to sleep in these precise patterns requires us to look back through deep time, far beyond the reach of modern comfort. It forces us to confront the reality that our very biology is a masterpiece of adaptation, etched by millions of years of survival strategies against an unpredictable, demanding world. Our ancestors faced constant threats: predators, scarcity, environmental shifts. Sleep cycles may have been a crucial energy-saving mechanism, optimizing cognitive function while minimizing exposure to danger in an unforgiving world. The most fundamental calculus of survival is energy. For early hominids, every calorie was precious, a resource that dictated whether the group survived the night or starved by dawn. In environments characterized by seasonal scarcity and demanding migrations, optimizing metabolic expenditure was not a luxury, it was a matter of life and death. The theory suggests that regular, restorative sleep patterns allowed our ancestors to enter a state of controlled biological efficiency. By minimizing physical activity and reducing cognitive load during deep rest, they could conserve vital energy reserves, reserving those calories for the intense demands of foraging, tool-making, or traversing vast, hostile landscapes. Comparing modern metabolic rates to hypothesized ancestral needs reveals a profound difference. Our current lifestyle often provides an energetic cushion. Our ancestors lived on razor-thin margins, making sleep not merely restful but fundamentally strategic, a critical component in their daily survival budget. This strategic rest likely involved predictable cycles, optimizing deep sleep phases to maximize recovery while minimizing energy expenditure. Such structured patterns were essential for maintaining peak physical condition across generations of demanding movement. The necessity of these precise schedules suggests a function far beyond mere physical recuperation. It points toward an advanced cognitive role. One leading theory proposes that sleep was in effect a biological learning tool. While awake, our ancestors were absorbing an overwhelming torrent of information. The subtle scent trail of migrating game, the seasonal shifts indicating edible roots, or the precise location of a safe water source. The brain, however, cannot process all this data in real time while simultaneously maintaining vigilance. Instead, it requires dedicated offline time. During deep sleep cycles, evidence suggests that memories are actively reorganized and consolidated, a process akin to file compression. It is during these periods of rest that the raw sensory input of the day is refined into usable knowledge, strengthening neural pathways for survival. This consolidation process is vital for complex skills such as tool-making or navigating unfamiliar terrain. Think of it like filing away a map. The day gathers coordinates, sleep solidifies the route. Without this nightly save function, the accumulated knowledge would simply dissipate by dawn. But the role of sleep extends beyond mere memory storage. Some compelling theories suggest that dreaming itself may have been an active cognitive process, a kind of evolutionary rehearsal space. Rather than just processing emotions, our ancestors might have used these nocturnal narratives to simulate dangerous or complex scenarios. Imagine a predator encounter. The dream could provide a low-stakes, high-intensity environment to practice escape routes or defensive maneuvers without risking life itself. Similarly, social interactions, negotiating resources, forming alliances, or resolving conflicts could be run through in a safe, virtual setting. These simulated experiences would allow the developing mind to test hypotheses about survival and cooperation, refining complex decision-making skills before they were needed in waking reality. The dream state, therefore, might not just be an echo of the day but a proactive training ground for the challenges of life. This mental sandbox theory suggests that early humans were essentially running complex risk assessments in their sleep. By repeatedly simulating these high-stakes scenarios, from navigating hostile territories to coordinating group hunts, the brain optimized its survival algorithms, ensuring peak readiness when faced with real danger. The most fundamental rhythm governing this sophisticated internal system is the circadian clock. This biological pacemaker operates on an approximate 24-hour cycle, dictating everything from hormone release to core body temperature. For our ancestors, this clock was not merely a suggestion, it was a critical survival tool. The environment provided the ultimate cue, the predictable shift between light and darkness. Light, especially sunlight, is the most potent signal, telling the body when to be alert and when to conserve energy. This established a reliable, synchronized sleep-wake cycle that was absolutely essential for group coordination. Imagine a small band of people relying on each other's vigilance. Knowing when everyone from the youngest child to the oldest hunter was rested and available allowed them to plan complex movements, coordinate defense, or execute a coordinated hunt. The rhythm wasn't just about individual rest, it was foundational infrastructure for the entire group's collective safety. This synchronized timing allowed for efficient resource management, knowing when to forage, when to rest, and when danger was most likely. It optimized group energy expenditure, transforming individual biology into collective resilience. But this sophisticated scheduling came with a critical vulnerability: sleep deprivation. For our ancestors, vigilance was not a luxury, it was an absolute necessity for survival. The ability to maintain optimal rest cycles meant the difference between successfully navigating a resource-rich valley and being caught unaware by predators or hostile groups. Insufficient sleep severely impaired judgment, slowing reaction times and introducing errors into complex decision-making processes. Coordination faltered, making hunting difficult and defense precarious. Furthermore, chronic lack of rest compromised immune function, a devastating liability when facing new pathogens or the physical stress of long migrations. A tired mind and a weakened body were a lethal combination on the move. This vulnerability underscores that sleep was not merely downtime. It was an active component of their survival toolkit, directly impacting every facet of group capability, from hunting efficiency to immunological readiness. Consider the physiological toll. Impaired decision-making could lead to missed foraging opportunities or poor route choices. Immune suppression meant minor infections became life-threatening crises. This constant pressure demanded disciplined rest, making sleep a non-negotiable strategic asset for any successful journey. Beyond individual biology, the need for structured rest was profoundly social. For early human bands, sleep was not merely an act of biological recovery. It was a communal undertaking that reinforced group cohesion and managed shared risk. Imagine the nightly routine. Coordinating rest patterns allowed groups to maintain collective vigilance without exhausting every member. While some slept deeply, others remained awake, taking turns watching for predators or monitoring changes in the environment. This division of labor during sleep hours created an intricate social rhythm. Furthermore, communal sleeping facilitated knowledge transfer and emotional support. The physical proximity reinforced social bonds, making the group unit itself a critical survival mechanism. A coordinated rest schedule was thus integral to maintaining complex social structures, a reliable safety net that allowed individuals to expend energy knowing their kin were watching their backs. This shared vulnerability elevated sleep from a necessity into a cornerstone of group identity and resilience. This shared vigilance suggests an early form of collective intelligence. The rhythmic patterns of rest and wakefulness were a silent testament to cooperation, a foundational behavioral blueprint for human society. These deep rhythms, etched by millennia of adaptation, suggest that our bodies are not merely biological machines. They are sophisticated chronometers tuned to ancient cycles. Our ancestors' sleep patterns were inextricably linked to the sun, the seasons, and the demands of their immediate environment. The optimal rhythm was one dictated by natural light, cues a consistent cycle of deep rest followed by periods of active engagement with the world around them. Today, however, our modern existence presents a profound divergence from that blueprint. We live in an epoch of artificial illumination, constant connectivity, and shifting schedules. These disruptions, particularly the exposure to blue-spectrum light at night, confuse the body's natural melatonin production and circadian timing. The cumulative effect is more than just fatigue. It is a systemic misalignment, a modern echo of deep time that impacts everything from mood regulation to metabolic health. Understanding this dissonance is key to reclaiming our innate sense of biological rhythm. Realigning with this ancient blueprint requires conscious effort. By prioritizing natural light exposure during the day and minimizing artificial blue light at night, we can begin to recalibrate our internal clocks, honoring the rhythm nature intended. Ultimately, sleep is not a passive state. It is an active, integrated necessity. It functions as a biological maintenance cycle, managing energy reserves and facilitating the complex metabolic processes that keep us viable. Think of it less as downtime and more as deep system optimization. Furthermore, its role extends far beyond simple rest. Sleep architecture supports cognitive development, the consolidation of memories, the pruning of neural connections, and the emotional processing necessary for social stability. Our ancestors didn't just sleep, they underwent a critical biological maintenance phase that underpinned their ability to learn, cooperate, and survive in complex environments. Recognizing this deep integration shifts our perspective. Rest is not a luxury earned after labor, but an essential precondition for it to truly thrive. We must respect the ancient rhythms, the natural ebb and flow of wakefulness and slumber, and treat sleep as the foundational pillar of human resilience. This deep biological mandate echoes in our modern lives. Honoring these ancient cycles, the natural circadian rhythm is crucial for optimizing human potential, ensuring that sleep remains central to a resilient and thriving existence.